Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase podcast. Today we have with us Randa Hoffman. Randa is from Radiant Wealth Planning LLC, which is located in Newport Beach, California. They provide financial planning and investment management, bridging traditional financial planning with your life's goals and dreams, utilizing tax strategies. And she was featured in Vogue magazines and as one of the most influential women in Orange County. And that is so exciting. Show Vogue magazine again in the picture.
Oh, yes. So it was the December issue. So you see, this is Nicki Minaj. And then if I go to this page, and here's Randa Hoffman.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
welcome to the
cool.
show, Randa. I'm really glad that you joined us. And let's get into how you do what you do. We were talking about money and magic before we got started.
Yes, money and magic. I bet your audience is like, what is going on? But probably not. Probably they're used to it. Yeah. So, when people are like, so what do you do? I'm like, I make a lot of money for people. That's what I do. I make a lot of money for people and I save them a lot of money, because there's two businesses, Radiant Wealth and Radiant Tax. But we'll talk about Radiant Wealth. I just make a lot of money for people because I love it. I love money. I love seeing it in my bank accounts. I love making it. I love making it for other people. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun when we meet with them on their quarterly meetings and they see their investments go up or goals. Like one client, she wants to take 6 months off from work and go travel in Africa. I'm like, yes, let's go. You can do it. That's so cool. That is so cool. That is just, man, that makes me so happy. I love making money. I just love it. Can I say that enough?
Yeah, and you should. So many people are like, money's the root of all evil, or they're actually afraid of making money. It's like, no, money's everywhere and it's just out there and it really does grow on trees. Don't believe that old lie.
No,
it's a lie.
That keeps you in scarcity. That keeps you in poverty. If money is the root of all evil, then you collect it and donate it. There's other people waiting for you to be wealthy, whether you know them or not. Mm-hmm. So don't deprive them because you're holding yourself back. Not you as in Jill, as the individual, right? Don't hold yourself back. Wow, there's so much beautiful things you can do. I was talking to somebody and she's like, she was saying she knows this couple and they're billionaires, but she's like, they're so unhappy. And I corrected her. I'm like, it's not the money that makes them unhappy. They were unhappy before. Money just magnified the unhappiness. So it's not the money. Money just if I'm a very generous person. I love to share. When I go out, I tip the exact same amount as my tab. So if it's $60, they're going to give you $60. I'm just generous. That's just me. That's just me. I was like that even before, So if somebody was like that, if you're stingy or greedy with money, you're going to be the same thing. If you're going to be unhappy, you're going to be unhappy. It's not the money. Money is a beautiful thing. It can really give you freedom to just breathe, What do you want to do? That's what money
Yeah.
is. It's so beautiful.
And it's everywhere because it's just energy. It doesn't actually even physically exist. I mean, you may have a piece of paper, but that piece of paper is just an object. It doesn't have any intrinsic value of its own.
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to when we did like silver and gold coinage, but
And barter and stuff like, yeah.
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
bartering, that has an intrinsic value. The only thing money does is just it it helps in transactions so that it makes transactions flow easier than if you're trying to, do a barter or do a trade or do um or even exchange like physical assets for whatever you're looking for. It just makes it much cleaner, but it's nothing in and of itself.
Yeah. Don't put so much weight into it. So don't put it on a pedestal and don't minimize it.
Yeah.
It really is, it is whatever you want it to be. And it really is based on the relationship you have with it. If you think money is fun, even if you don't have it, I lived on both ends. I lived on the end that I didn't have money. So I know that feeling. People can't say, oh, Randa, you're fine. So of course you think it's fun. No, I lived with it, not having it. And I didn't think it was fun. And that was so hard because then it didn't even come because it was, almost like when
Hard.
you're running towards money, you're chasing money. Think of it as a lover. If you're chasing towards a guy or a girl and the person's like, whoa, back off. That's too much. Like, whoa, that's too much. That's so unattractive. Same thing with money because it's energy. If you're chasing towards something, you repel it. So just soothe, just calm down about it. It actually can
Have
be fun.
fun with it. Really,
Yeah.
having fun. I have an investment, it's a Robin Hood account. Okay,
Good.
I'll just put it
Good.
out there.
Yeah, that's okay.
And
I
it's
don't need
just
them.
for me to play with.
Yeah.
I don't attach anything to it. I put, sometimes I'll put some money in it just to like have money to play with. And I have a bunch of different things that I've invested in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like to watch it. And sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down. And when it goes down, instead of being like, oh, I lost all, it's like buying opportunity.
Totally.
Everything just went on sale.
Totally. It's just like the value in buying a house.
Mhm.
When things go down, a buyer is very interested. So when investments go down, a buyer should be very interested. It's the same concept, but people are like, oh my God, the market is down. I don't want to buy. I'm like, do you think the market is never going to go up ever in your lifetime, ever again?
Right.
If that's the case, then yeah, don't buy. But that's really not the case. So yeah, buy when it's cheap
Yeah.
because it will go back up. As long as you do good investments.
Yeah.
If you do small cap investments, then there's a chance they're not going to make it. They're small companies. But if you do solid investments, buy and hold, then that's good. Yeah, buy it when it's cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, you can invest in stocks that are reasonable companies. There's still things out there that are a good deal. Like, I don't know, Uber is a good example. I
Yeah.
love Uber. Uber's cheap.
Overship. And
Uber does well.
yeah. And if do you believe in their story? So there's different analysis. You can see fundamental analysis. You can see technical analysis. You don't have to get so wrapped into that. You do if you want to, if that, find an analyst that you like, find out, are they on the buy side or on the sell side? What side, do they kind of lean towards and kind of follow them and read what they say about it. But sometimes you just want to buy something. I have a client, she's like, I love Disney. Can we buy some Disney? Because we go to the theme parks and we do this. I'm like, yeah, let's buy Disney, you know? So you just love Uber. You just buy Uber. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. Don't
I
make
buy
it.
Hormel too, because, I have a family relationship with Hormel. My
There you go.
grandmother was actually married to Ben Hormel, who's the
See?
brother of the man who started Hormel Industries. And it's just like, I feel like I'm doing something for my family when I invest in Hormel.
Totally, totally, totally. Now, the flip side to it is if this is a person's retirement account, make sure you're diversified, you know? So
Yeah.
there's that, like, because every stock has a season. Last year's Magnificent Seven, we heard those over and over, the Mag Seven. Well, guess what? Going in this year, they dropped, and other stocks, smaller stocks, mid-cap stocks, they're increasing. So every energy is increasing. So everything has its season. So just be diversified so it can, every stock or ETF or mutual fund or, can shine.
Yeah. And don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Please
It's
don't do
kind
that.
of important.
Yeah, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Because when some things go up and some things go down, and I do have cryptos even. I don't
I'm
have a
not
lot
gonna
of
ding you on
them,
that either. That's okay.
but I look at it as it's just a different type of currency.
Yeah.
And yes, it goes up, and yes, it goes down.
Yeah.
There's trends with it.
There's,
And
totally.
and I'm not actually advocating that anybody go out and invest on their own without doing a lot of research.
Mm.
I'm talking about my own personal little play account that I really do play with. It's not my retirement account.
Yeah.
And if you're going to look at investing, I strongly recommend people look to people like you that can give them the bigger picture about what they need to look at, what they need to think about. There's tax ramifications anytime you do investing. And there's just, you already brought up the points about, being diversified in different types of funds, and or if you're even buying individual stocks, there's ways to do it that can minimize your risk and maximize your return. And
That is
that's
so
where
true. That is
you
so
shine.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Because everything I do, the investments I do, the portfolios I create, the models I create is very strategic. It's not willy-nilly, oh, I think I'm going to do this. Or no, it is very strategic between large cap, mid cap, small cap, local, international, emerging markets. Everything is strategic between stocks and bonds, treasury bonds, corporate bonds. Everything is very strategic. The duration of the bonds. So there's nothing wrong working with a financial advisor and then having your small account. Now, if you have a financial advisor that says, no, you shouldn't have your own small account. Everything should be, I should manage everything. Maybe that's not your jam. Maybe that kind of person just doesn't align with who you want to work with. And that's okay. The beautiful thing about Zoom, you can work with anybody in the United States of America. I can work with anybody in the, it doesn't have to be like old school. I have to call my broker that's 2 blocks away. It doesn't have to be like that. I have clients in Texas, Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C., Washington State, California, Nevada. So it doesn't matter. That's what's so cool about it. Find somebody that's really aligned with who you are. You can really resonate with that person. If you want somebody that wants to teach you a little what they're doing, as opposed to, I'm the professional, do you have to listen to me? And find somebody who's willing to share that with you. Some people don't care. They're like, just do what you want to do. And I have clients like that. They're like, I just don't care. But some clients, they want to learn. And she's like, I'm taking notes. I'm like, so cute. I love that. I love that. So yeah. Find that person. It's really worth it. It really is.
It makes a huge difference, especially when you're talking about your future. And money has another quality to it. It represents your time, And your personal energy, when it comes to like working and you're exchanging your energy for money, and you want that money to be able to take care of you at a later date, then having somebody who knows what they're doing and who does align with who you are energetically will help you grow that money and be able to make the most difference with that money. Investing, we talk about investing in stocks and futures and whatever, but there's a larger picture to that. When you invest in a company, it's not just like some random piece of paper that has the name of it on there. You're investing in all the people that work in that facility. You're investing in the people that run the facility. You're investing in the infrastructure of the facility. And you're investing in yourself in some ways if you use that commodity, like the gal that wanted to invest in Disney. Well, when you invest in Disney, you're creating movies, you're funding all the people that work in those theme parks, and you're allowing them to grow and expand. And it's not like it's just this one thing. Everything is so connected, and the energy that you put into it expands out into helping those entities that are living entities. They're not just like this brick and mortar. I mean, Disneyland would not be Disneyland if there weren't human beings that went there and visited or that thought about it. And, Walt Disney had a great idea and he brought it to life, but that life has evolved. I went to Disneyland when it was like really young, like within the first decade of it being invented. I lived in San Diego and I went there for my 9th birthday.
Oh, that
Back
is
when they had
sweet.
e-tickets.
Yeah. Real tickets. So you see it, you see it in a different light, and if you're an investor and if you're an investor in a company that gives you dividends, they're rewarding their shareholders. Thank you for owning our stock. Here you go. We want to share our profits with you. Man, that's so cool. That is but the flip side, it doesn't have to be so emotionally big like that. I invest a lot in ETFs, exchange traded funds. And this is one basket can have like 100, 200 stocks, bonds, mix. Sometimes you know what they are, and sometimes you don't. And so sometimes what I'm getting at, it doesn't have to be so I have to love everything in my portfolio. It doesn't have to be like that either. Yeah.
It doesn't. And, when you're investing for your future, it can be a mix of things.
Yeah.
In there, but it is fun to watch. I worked for a mutual fund at one point. I was a bookkeeper in my other life, and it was really an interesting experience because a mutual fund is just for those who don't know, I'm sure you know what a mutual fund is, but it's a basket of different stocks, and every day they're valued, and that was my job. And sometimes the stocks would split, so you get 2 for 1. That was always exciting to me. And the dividends, and it's just like it's a whole different world when you start getting into investing and managing investments. That
it's really a big role that people don't think it's that big. That's why there's a whole career dedicated to it. That's how big it is. For example, mutual funds. Well, I personally move away from mutual funds. I have my own beliefs about them, but for example, mutual funds shouldn't be in brokerage accounts. Oh, nobody knows that. Oh, why not? Because they generate tax impact that you have no control over. Oh, I mean, look how little of us, just that knowledge. I say somebody a capital gain of $1,200. Just something, just that once, there you go. There's your cost of admission right there. I mean, that's how little it is. So when people think, oh, you're just picking stocks willy-nilly, I'm like, no, there's actually more to it than what we do in our knowledge and expertise. And it's not just investments, like you said. We're looking at the whole picture of one's life. We're looking at the tax impact, because Radiant Wealth Planning works very close with Radiant Tax Services, and I intentionally created a tax business to work with Radiant Wealth Planning clients because that's so important. In a lot of the big firms, you know, and I worked at a big firm, they told us advisors, you can't talk about taxes. You don't have an expertise in taxes. You don't have the credentials. You cannot talk about taxes. Everything is taxes on the investment side. Everything is taxes on the financial planning side. So financial planning is, let's plan for these dollars. You get dollars coming in. What are we going to do with them? How are we going to allocate them? How are we going to create your goals? How are we going to grow them? So it goes beyond the financial planning. It's like estate planning, college savings, tax planning is part of it. So that's
Do you do trusts?
Yes, but that specific ones. So not all of them. Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Well, when you're starting to talk about estate planning and things like that, I mean, those have huge tax ramifications that people never even think about until, you know, somebody dies, and somebody who dies with a decent amount of money, and it doesn't even have to be really all that much money. When you're starting into investing, you can easily have a couple $100,000 in an investment account. It does not take that long if you start early. And
yeah.
And sometimes you run into people that don't think about that, and they end up dying, and then their heirs, if they've been smart enough to leave a will, and you know,
Yeah.
people don't think about what's going to happen after you go. How difficult are you going to make it for the people that you leave behind?
And,
Are you
and
going to
how do
make
you
it
want
so
to
that, like,
transition your money to them? Because
yeah,
you don't have a will. And let's just do a simple example. You have an investment account. You don't have a will. The investment account doesn't go to your spouse right away because it got to go through probate, the courts. The courts have to decide where the money goes. Well, naturally it goes to the spouse. Okay, well, we know what it could take 6 months. What if the spouse is dependent on this money to pay for the mortgage, take care of kids, you know, do it because now the spouse doesn't have the income, you know, the paycheck. So depending on the, I mean, just think about something as simple as that. And I tell people, know what state you're in and work with an estate attorney. So that's why I say kinda, because I work with the state attorneys. The state attorneys decide, yes, you need a trust, or no, you don't need a trust. Washington State, you probably want a trust because they have estate tax. California does not have estate tax, but our probate process is so expensive. But the flip side to that, the taxes on a trust are very high. You pay a lot of taxes on a trust. So what's that, you know, that trade-off? Well, that's why you have your professional people that you work with. That's why you have the state attorney, your tax professional. You're not going to be an expert in all these, but be very smart in surrounding yourself with smart people. That's how you move forward. Do you think all these billionaires, they're doing their own investments, they're doing their own taxes, they're doing their own estate planning? No, they surround themselves with really smart people. And that's what you want to do. Start thinking of yourself as not I'm one little measly thing. You know, I don't deserve to have an estate attorney. I don't have that much stuff. What? No. And you don't, it doesn't have to be that expensive. You know, there are state attorneys that do our by project. Find somebody who does that has your main 3 documents. So it's just, it doesn't have to be so grandiose like people think. So then they don't do anything, you know?
they get paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Important, though, really important.
Really.
Even if you're not investing, even if you just have money in a retirement or in a IRA or
Yeah.
401k, whatever you have, make sure that you have a will for your loved ones. It's like, we've just gone through this personally.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. It's one of those things. It's like, if I can help one other person not have to spend hours trying to figure out what passwords are,
Yeah.
Divining passwords is my superpower, apparently.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's something like LastPass that you can share your master password, or Facebook has something if you pass away, how do people get in your account or even close your account? I mean, there's this lady I worked with, she passed away, but I keep getting notifications from her for LinkedIn. So and so has this anniversary. Like, oh my God, this is just so heartbreaking. But you know, just stuff like that. I don't know how we can nudge people to really hear the importance of this, because that is so the underestimated topic. You know, people are like, they lean back when you said, okay, if anything happens to you, which we will, everything's going to happen to us, you know, someday. How do we make it easy for you, for the next people that are still here? Don't you want to make it easy for them? You know, but it could be something, getting a life insurance policy, tax-free money, you know, stuff like that. Like, let's think about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and if you have young kids, you definitely need at least term life insurance.
Yes.
You know, during your working years, if you have young kids, it's just
Yes.
it's just irresponsible to not do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have, like you said, it doesn't have to be a whole life, which is more expensive. That's awesome if you do. That's wonderful. You could do more with it, but term at least. If you have it through work, bump it up. That's awesome. But when you leave, you don't get it, you don't take it with you. So now you're getting older. So now it's more expensive. So this is what, you know, this is how I work with my clients. We have, okay, you know, they tell me this is the end goal that they want. It could be a goal for a year, 5 years, when they want to make work optional. And I just lay down different paths. We could go this way, we could go this way, we could go this way. What way feels right to you? That's the question. What way feels right to you? And they'll usually be like, I like this, and I like this, and I like a little of this. And then that's how we create. Okay, that's the path we're going to go. As opposed to, you know, okay, now you have to get term life insurance, you know, and you have to do this, and this is the order of events. Somebody's like, I don't need term. I don't have anybody, you know, dependent on me. You know, it's not, there's no
Yeah.
checklist. I don't work on a checklist. It's like, no, let's create this path for you. You have kids? Let's talk about term life insurance. Definitely, you know. So yeah, it's just a whole different world. You know, it's collaborating. We're collaborating.
Yeah, and kids aren't taught this in school.
Adults weren't taught this, and so I mean, my parents, I'm Arab American. You think we're talking about money in the Arab culture? No way. No way. My mom was
Especially to
so,
women.
especially to it. And my mom, you know, my mom has this, when I was growing up, money is scarcity mindset. We don't have enough money, even though we did. We don't have enough money. Oh my God, about money. You know, so imagine children being raised in that. How do we rewire that? Like, no, it's not so, it's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Let's undo that.
Yeah, and it's totally possible. And it doesn't take a lot to get beyond the money's evil, money is hard to come by. Because honestly, money is not hard to come by. $1 million is surprisingly easy to make. It's 20 steps. You just double a dollar.
See, I mean, really. See, it's just, yeah. Like I'm not a therapist. I'm not a money therapist, and maybe it would be benefit to go. But I think having somebody by your side saying, okay, this quarter, these are the things we're going to work on. We come back the following quarter. Okay, check. Okay, we didn't work on this, so let's just move it to the next quarter. You look back. I keep a track of everything we've done throughout the year, and we look back on the year like, we did a lot of stuff. So having that, you know, and I don't know why, and I know this, and I don't know why I kind of do. Women, we tend to put money in cash a lot. We have a lot of money in cash because we we're not 100% confident on what to do with it. I don't know investing 100%, so I'll just put it here. Or I don't know if I trust the market, or I don't know if I know how to do it, or so there's a lot of, but I'll put it in cash. So there's a lot of sitting in that. Well, if you're somebody like that, then find somebody you trust that can teach you along the way. I had this client, she had her 401k in cash, and I'm like, okay, so if we keep it in cash, this is when you can make work optional. This is when you can make work optional at this age. If we start investing it now, and she's fairly young, if we start investing it, you can make work optional much younger.
Shave off 20 years. Easily.
It was extravagant. The difference was so big because you have the market working with you on your side. Is it going to dip? Of course it's going to dip. It's natural. The market is a living, breathing entity. It exhales, inhales, exhales, inhales. That's okay. Don't be fearful of
it's
that.
A buying opportunity.
Don't be fearful of it. Yeah, people are scared. So, but no, just I don't know if you have a bunch of, cash sitting on the side, work with somebody that you feel confident with, that can really kind of guide you so you can get to that point much sooner.
And what would you consider a lot of cash sitting on the side? What's kind of your minimum?
So my minimum is 25,000. Okay. Because I want somebody that has put an effort into whatever that goal is. And a lot of times it's a retirement account, IRA account or brokerage account that has put an effort. I save this much. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. So that for me is my minimum. But cash on the side for quote unquote, what's a lot? It really depends on the person. Some people, 30,000 for them cash on the side is a lot. I just talked to a lady, she has $250,000 cash on the side. That's a lot. That's a lot. She's like, I'm saving it for my daughter's college. And her daughter's, I think, is 11. And I'm like,
you're done.
Try again. Well, let's take a portion of that, put it in a 529 plan. So then you don't have to save the entire 250. It can grow. And here's the tax planning. When we take it out for her school, it's tax-free on the growth. Oh, something, like we think, I'm like, oh, that's so basic, but not for everybody. That's why you have to work with it.
For most people. That's the thing. Most people have no idea of the possibilities unless they can, they might hear it from someone somewhere along the line. They'll hear like a snippet and try to like do something with the snippet. And
that's if they're interested. I mean, it's not like there's lack of information. I mean, you can Google this. What I'm saying is not new and it's out there. It's because it's a topic and it has lingo that it's hard to connect dots. So what I do is connect the dots. I make it flow from one topic, from one understanding, from one knowledge to the next. It's not like you can't get the information out there. It's there. You can teach yourself.
A lot of things you can teach yourself, but the hard part is getting it all synthesized and how it fits together. Like we talk about investments, and then there's the tax side of it, and the estate planning side of it. Those are three pieces of one cohesive part. And there's also, the income aspect of it. How are you going to generate this money to put in this mechanism that you're trying to save with or to grow? I mean, we talk about growing it, but there's got to be something coming in too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got something coming in to grow. Yeah.
So, I mean, they're all bits and pieces of this bigger thing that we call money.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun. You want an advisor that has fun with it. You want an advisor that loves money. And I keep saying this, I do love money, but I don't put it on a pedestal. That it's fun. I love growing money. Oh my God, I love making money for myself and others. I love making money. You want that. You want that in your advisor because you want to meet with your advisor every quarter, 6 months, 1 year, whenever. That is like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Let me show you. Let me show you what we did last quarter. Let me show you. And even if it drops, oh my God, let me show you what we bought. Like you were saying, even if it drops. Yeah. And it is all connected. I was doing a tax return for a lady the other day, and I told her, please tell your financial advisor, because she has a financial advisor. I was just doing her taxes from Radiant Tax side. I'm like, please tell your financial advisor if she sells any investments, she sold I think it was over 30,000 to withhold taxes. So now she has a large tax liability for capital gain. Something so simple. That's why you want to make sure that your advisor also knows about taxes. It's actually really important. And I know a lot of my financial advisor friends will get mad at me for this. You want somebody who knows both, or at least it would be awesome if they do both, but at least knows both. And I was telling her, like, let me talk to your advisor. If she wants to sell a large chunk of investments, have her reach out to me. What taxable events happen throughout the year? Because I want to do this. Please don't do that. Or yes, do that and do it this way. So even if you do have a financial advisor that you just love, make sure they partner with a tax professional and make sure that they have that relationship, that they can bounce ideas off before things happen. That's what tax planning is. You're doing it before an event happens. I was talking to an S Corp owners. They're like, so what if we do, and they just ran a whole bunch of ideas. What if we do this? How does it impact our taxes? And how do we do it so we can be smart about it? I'm like, okay, so you want to do this. So tax planning is so big. Tax preparation is always looking back on the year. We can do little tweaks, up until the deadline, but not much. But tax planning, whoa, that's fun.
And there's money. It's like found money. And
yes.
It's how the rich get richer, and the everyday Joe out there who's just working his life away and paying really 50 or 60% of what they're earning goes back into taxes. People don't really recognize it because it's disguised in a lot of different ways. But if you aren't planning ahead for what your tax situation is going to look like, you're just throwing money out there.
Yeah. And corp businesses, whether you're an LLC, a sole prop, an S Corp, you have a little more leniency of what you could do with tax planning. If you're just a regular W-2, I just go to my company and do my W-2, I go home. There's way less we could do, right? Because there's a set amount of taxes you have to do. But maybe we can set up an IRA. Can we do, do you get a tax deduction? Maybe not, but it becomes a non-deductible IRA, non-deductible contribution. We move that over to the Roth. Now you have tax-free money. So there's so much more than others, but there's always something little. And I tell my tax clients on the Radiant Tax side, I tell them, I'm going to give you little tips and tricks for the year. I call it tips and tricks. And so I put it in their document, when I complete a return. Okay, here's tips and tricks. Let me know. Let's walk through this. How are we going to implement this? And some people are like, yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, we're not doing that one. What about this one? Yeah, that feels good. So it's always, what do you want to do? I'll share all my knowledge, all my expertise with you so you can be in a better financial position. What feels right to you? That's so important.
It is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people work with you?
Oh, I am so easy. There's no, there's this mentality of I'm the financial advisor, and they put themselves on their own pedestal, right? No, I'm so down to earth. They're really easy to find. Just go to radiantwealthplanning.com, set up an intro call, and then let's chat. I want people to ask all the questions they have. Let me show you pricing. If you bring in this amount of investments, this is how much your quarterly investment fees are going to be. This is how much it's going to be for the year. Let's chat. Let's ask, see if we resonate. I want people to interview their financial advisor. It's very important. So, and if that works out, then that's awesome. We get a client agreement. We move over the investments to Radiant Wealth Planning. I start managing, and then we start talking about financial planning. What do we have going on currently? Where do you want to be? And I ask people, not when do you want to retire? I think that is a question that does clients just the least amount of, it's just a horrible question, because the natural answer is 65. Oh, really? That's what everybody wants to retire at 65? No. So the question really is, when do you want to make work optional?
Yes.
That's powerful. I have a client, she can make work optional at 62, but she's like, but I love what I do. I'm like, okay, that's okay. You keep going to work, but now you're going because you want to go. Now you walk in those doors, or you log in on Zoom, log in online, and you're like, I'm here because I'm choosing to be here. It's optional. If I don't want to be here, I don't have to be here, because that's how I set myself up. That's powerful. That's powerful.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it really is.
I love that phrase.
Yeah. It gives you back ownership of your life. It gives you back the power, like, oh, I am in control. I'm not a little puppet on the string after till 65. Oh, hopefully I have enough money. Work with a financial advisor to know if you're going to have enough money, and what does that look like? What does that look like for you? Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the one thing you want to leave the audience with today, Randa?
If I can encourage people, sometimes people don't want to work with a financial advisor because they're like, oh, I don't know. I feel intimidated, or I don't feel secure about my money. Maybe work with a financial coach. That's somebody that would get you prepared for a financial advisor. If you have a lot of debt, you don't have money, like our minimum is $25,000. You're like, I don't have that. I have a lot of debt. Work with a financial coach. So in 2024 is a year of money. It truly is. It's an eight number year. It's an 8 year. Absolutely. It's about prosperity. It's about money. It's about being really intentional with our money. Stop messing around, people. Let's get our shit together. Stop messing around, right? Let's set ourselves up beautifully this year with our money. So it could be talking to a financial coach if that means. And I am all for that. That's what I got.
Yeah. I love it. And I love that it's also the year of the wood dragon.
Yes. Do your audience know what that is?
You can share if you want.
No, I don't know. I just know it's the year of the dragon, and I just love dragons because they're so powerful and mystique. That's all I know.
Yeah. That's what I know. It's from the Chinese New Year.
Yes.
It has to do with that.
Yeah.
And I've had other guests on who are like, they know way more about it than I ever hoped to. But,
yeah, no, that's not me.
But I do know that it's a powerful year, and you can just feel it. Everybody's talking about it. It's like it's its own energy that is just like
it really is.
So yeah.
So let's use it. Let's really harness this and really propel us forward. Let's use it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're an alchemist. So let's alchemize this energy.
Turn it into money.
Oh man. Yes.
Thanks for joining me, Randa.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the U World Order or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.